Welcome, viewers and students on sociology. In this lecture, I'll be covering soci- tribal society, tribes and tribal problem in India, constitutional provisions in India. Let's move to the subject. What is tribe? Meaning of tribes. Dr. Majumdar says tribe as a social group with territorial affiliation endogamous with no specialization of functions ruled by tribal officers, hereditary or otherwise, united in language or dialect, recognizing social distance with other tribes or castes. What does he mean so? He says people, those are the social group, those who are in a particular territory, they are endogamous nature. That means they are marrying in their own tribes, within their tribes. They are not allowing people to marry in other tribes. With no specialization of functions. They do not have functions to do. They live and whatever they feel like for their livelihood and they function accordingly. And they are ruled by tribal officers. That means head of the tribes, hereditary or otherwise. That means somebody who is descendant of that particular tribe or who's heading the tribes. Automatically his or her descendants become the of the tribes. United in language, they speak the same language, recognizing social distance with other tribes. They do not mingle with other tribes and caste. That is the definition of tribes Majus. What is tribes in sociology? A tribe is viewed developmentally or historically as a social group existing before the development of nation states or outside them. A tribe is a group of distinct people dependent on their land for their livelihood, who are largely self-sufficient and not integrated into the national society. That is what the tribe says, because tribal societies are normally from the primitive age. Before the boundaries of the nations were created and they used to stay. They have their own territory, they have their own system. They do not belong to any nations as they say. And that is a problem in India, we'll discuss later. But worldwide, these tribes are staying in their own territory. And they have been existing in the world since very beginning, before these classification and boundary creation for these continents and the nations started building up. Tribes society in India. Let's discuss. The term scheduled tribe first appeared in the Constitution of India, Article 366, 25. Defined scheduled tribe as such tribes or tribal communities or parts of or group within such tribes or tribal communities as are deemed under Article 342 to be scheduled tribe for the purpose of this constitution. Article 342 prescribes procedure to be followed in the matter of in the specification of scheduled tribes. Why they are called scheduled tribe? When we refer ST or SC, scheduled caste, we are not discussing here scheduled caste, of course, but scheduled tribes, because they have their place in the constitution and they have been scheduled. That is why they are called scheduled tribes. Look at these tribes, primitive age, and the people, those who are in the picture, they are still in a primitive age and they are living on their constitutional provisions for tribes. Many students, they ask for what are the constitutional provisions. The president may, with respect to any state or union territory, and where it is a state, after consultation with the governor there or by public notification, specify the tribes or tribal communities or parts of all groups within tribes or tribal communities which shall, for the purpose of this constitution, is deemed to be scheduled tribes in relation to that state or union territory as the case may be. Let's move further. Article 342 of Indian Constitution, what does that say? Parliament may by law include in or exclude from the list of scheduled tribes specified in a notification issued under clause 1 any tribe or tribal community or part of a group within any tribe or tribal community, but save as aforesaid a notification issued under the said clause shall not be varied by any subsequent notification. The students have to learn these two paragraphs. One, the president may, and the other, parliament may. That says the 342 of Article 342 of Indian Constitution about the tribal society. Further later on, which I am not going to discuss because this is a large subject, every state government has been given authority to define the tribal and list out the tribal based on the characteristics which Indian government has specified, and it's through the notification. Some facts and status of tribal population in India. According to 1991 census, the tribal population was 6.7 crore. That is about 8.8% of the total population of India. Madhya Pradesh, Orissa and Bihar have highest ST population in descending order respectively. Gujarat and Rajasthan have over 3 million each. Maharashtra has nearly 8%, followed by Assam, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh. Lakshadweep Island, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Dadar Nagar Haveli have little less than 100% tribal population. Very important to understand this. Lakshadweep Island, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Dadar Nagar Haveli is less than 100%, maybe close to 100% population. They come under tribal population as per specified notification in the Indian Constitution. No community has been specified as scheduled tribes in relation to the state of Haryana and Punjab and Union Territory of Chandigarh, Delhi and Pondicherry. Important to note that these states that do not have scheduled. What are the common problems of tribal people in India? See, one need to understand tribes of India are varied in terms of their socio-economic and political development. Some of them have changed through Hinduism or Hinduization and Christianity and other religious, based on religious perspective. They have changed. Some tribal people are in a transitional phase, while others are adhering to their old lifestyles. This shows an uneven process of change and development. That is the uneven process of change and development, because they are not allowing themselves to change as per the government efforts. They are not allowing change and development among the tribal people in India. Only a small number of tribal people have been benefited by policies and programs meant for their development, just because they are not allowing themselves, they are not allowing their people to mingle with the society, the mainstream society. That is what it is creating a problem for Indian government as well. Now, what are the common problems? Poverty, exploitation, economic and technological backwardness, socio-cultural handicaps, problems of their assimilation with the non-tribal population. Zamindars and moneylenders intruded their lives. Exchange of goods and transaction at weekly market and fair was the basis mode of economic relations. Indebtedness led to exploitation and pauperization of the tribal people. What does the pauperization means? Pauperization means they are not freed, of course. They are not freed from the it is like, intrusion. It is like intrusion to their livelihood, intrusion to their land, intrusion to their intrusion to the customs. Literacy rates among tribes is very low. A good portion of a land in tribal areas has been legally transferred to non-tribals, and that is what the problem which is popping up in Indian tribal society, and that gives birth to Naxalism. That birth to Naxalite areas, and people are getting and joining. Some more problems? I'm sorry, I think this is wrongly mentioned. Let's move to characteristics of Indian tribes. What are the characteristics of Indian tribes? Primitive traits, geographical isolation, distinct culture, shy of conduct with community at large, economically backward. These are the characteristics of Indian tribe, which also Indian government, Indian constitution prescribes. Primitive traits should be geographical isolation. They should be staying from the mainstream society, very remote areas, a distinct culture which is not into the mainstream culture, shy of contact with community at large, economically background. Let's move to what is particular vulnerable tribe groups, PVGTs in India, which Indian government has classified them. The tribal communities live in various ecological and geoclimatic conditions ranging from plains and forests to hills and inaccessible areas. Tribal groups are at different stages of social, economic and educational development. While some tribal communities have adopted a mainstream way of life, at the other end of the spectrum, there are certain scheduled tribes, 75 in numbers, known as particularly vulnerable tribal groups, PVTGs, who are characterized by the following. Now, what are these characters? Pre-agricultural level of technology, stagnant or declining population, extremely low literacy, subsistence level of economy. That these are the group of people, those who come under VTGS, PVTGS, particular vulnerable tribal group. See, when we are discussing the problem of tribals in India, which is giving birth to Naxalism, here the tribal demands that this land should be returned to them. Those who have been either taken by zamindars long back or by the government. In fact, tribals had earlier enjoyed considerable freedom to use the forest and hunt animals. They were using forests like anything and hunting animals and selling those parts of animals in different market, and that is how they used to earn money. Forests not only provide them materials to build their home, but also give them a fuel, herbal medicines for curing diseases, fruits, wild games, etc., etc. Their religion makes them believe that many of their spirit live in trees and forest. That is the belief system they have. Some of the spirits of lives in trees and forest. Their folk tales often speak about relationship of human beings and the spirit. That's a belief system they have. Because of such physical and emotional attachment to forest, tribals have reached sharply to restrictions imposed by the government on their traditional right. That is what they feel. They have been restricted. There are many problems which are also, I have not listed out here, but people can note down, students can note down. At some places, tribal have been made to serve as bonded laborers. The Doms and Koltas in Uttar Pradesh serve upper caste families even today as bonded laborers. In Rajasthan, Sagri system. In Andhra Pradesh, Veti system. In Orissa, Gauthi system. In Karnataka, Jetha system. And in Chhattisgarh, which was earlier in Madhya Pradesh, the Naukri Nama systems are the example of bondedness of the tribals. And that is how it is creating a problem and giving a birth to Naxalism in India. They have borrowed money from the money lenders, but have not been able to pay back, and therefore they are bound to work till they return to the loan, and they are unable to return the loan because their earnings and economic conditions so bad and poor. A situation of freedom does not arise as a tribal is not able to repay the loan completely and quickly. That is how the problems are popping up in India. Uh, Hope I made it clear. I hope people could relate what are the problems, provisions of tribal scheduled tribes in Indian Constitution. But people should note that every state government has liberty to list out the number of. So in India, about more than 3,000 such tribal societies are there. Thank you very much once again.